Right then folk, welcome back to another video beer review. Today with a beer coming out of Pillars, and it is their Hellers. I had the other ones last night. I know the kind of upload schedule is a bit different, but I had the other ones last night. Yeah. First one was okay. Second, I did say that the yeast was a bit hot, so I think I'd definitely sit on the second one, which is the house lager I had. The first one was definitely nicer. I was drinking out the bottle. But you know, we had this discussion today at work. Is obviously you do 90% of your drinking actually goes through your nose. Through the aroma. You don't pour the beer through your nose, but you know what I mean. It's as soon as that aroma is cut off, if you're drinking out of the bottle and the aroma is cut off, you're not going to be sensing quite as much. And that's where I had those kind of problems with the house lager, especially. If you were having it out of the bottle, you wouldn't have tasted it quite as much. You still tasted it, but it was bad on the nose, to the point where, like I said, I'd rather drink Carling, and I don't really mind Carling. It's not the out of the macro lagers. It is one of the shitter ones for sure, but the cost of it versus other shit ones, it is, and also for offensive flavours, it still has some for sure, but against that, against the house lager, it's still a bit better, And I had one last night as well. I've got a fridge full of Carling, but that's for a different reason. Not for general consumption, but for an evening, a special evening in the future, which I keep talking about because I want it to happen. But it was basically for this. I bought a load of Carling for this 5 litre challenge, and you got to drink 5 litres of a specific beer or 2 beers within a live stream, and there were 3 people who were interested in joining, but we haven't actually sorted a date yet. And the problem is, I agreed to work a weekend when I really shouldn't have done in December, which is kind of what I was planning for it. And then also that I just said, oh, now we're going out on this other weekend when I had an opportunity to do it. So I might just have to drink those Carlings and wait until January. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, let's get on to the actual beer itself. Pillars Hellers. This lager is fresh from the Pillars. Same old gumph it says on all the rest of the bottles. 4.8%, vegan friendly. Is it gluten free? I don't think this one is. Okay, vegan it is for sure. Yeah, doesn't really say anything else. Best before's rubbed off. Fantastic. That's what we love. Best before's rubbed off. Shall I, once again, just for continuity's sake, I will pour some into the glass. We're going to use a different glass this time. I'm going to use my Red Ram vintage glass. Pour a little bit into that. Slosh it in. And then we'll have the rest out of the bottle. So, we'll get plenty of nose on this being so low down inside the glass. But looks relatively decent. Very clear, single finger, fluffy white head, nice. Well, the nucleation on the glass is definitely helping it. Yeah, let's see how it is. Again, bruised. It's a high firm temp, I swear, on it. It's not quite as bad as what the other ones are, or the one yesterday was, but very bready, wheaty sort of notes, quite biscuity. I'm just coming off the back of the Königshof, or whatever it was called. Beautiful lager that was. Let's dive in. Cheers. There are flavours where it kind of promises much. On the back end, the yeasty back end of it just destroys it. It promises so much. It's got, and the back end absolutely kills it. Again, just fermenting it too high, and it ends up with this yeasty, just a yeasty mess at the back end. When it would have been so lovely and crisp. I don't know if it's, well, I know for sure on the other one it tasted like it'd been fermented too high. Is it not lagered for long enough? To the common drinker, I'm sure it'd be fine. But if you, and I'd say you might be finding it a push to people who don't really drink, the German lagers or even drink lagers that much. You've always got to think that cut myself out of this, but fuckers drink Carling. Fuckers drink Kronenbourg. Kronenbourg tastes awful nowadays. It really does. I can't stand that stuff. I used to be kind of okay on it, but I don't know what they've done to it, and it's absolutely awful nowadays. I'm going to guess glucose and that sort of shite that they put inside of it. Because I really wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, back onto this beer again. It's got lovely up front, lovely kind of lemony, floral, bready, and then it goes biscuity, and then that yeasty mess. Really, it comes in right at the end and really lingers. I still bloody drank it though, didn't I? I'm thirsty. I'm hot. I mean, busy. It's freezing cold outside, and you come inside and it's like 19 degrees, and it's actually like -2 or 3 outside. And I've been wearing a t-shirt all day because I'm stupid. And you come inside and it's roasting. See if we get this sort of, and as a result, very warm. I want to drink cold drinks, and I love drinking lager. So let's go from the bottle and see what it's like. And now I've eradicated. Let's just put a little bit more back in. So otherwise, I had eradicated my comparison. I mean, well, on the nose. I tell you what, you are still getting that kind of dodgy yeasty note, but yeah, that's really muting it. You're not getting. I mean, that dodgy yeasty note's coming through a bit more, but the floral notes and the lemony sort of notes are really muted by just having it straight out the bottle. It's a really interesting thing to do, is to have a comparison of bottle versus straight out the glass. I think I'm probably going to continue with having it out of the bottle, because you don't taste those back end dodgy bits quite as much. Let's just give it one final go. But yeah, you get all the lemony notes, lemony floral notes out of the glass. Funny. Lemony floral notes and dodgy back end, or not much and no dodgy back end. Yeah, another one from Pillars. Like I said in the first video, I said, these guys get so overlooked. Once again, there's a reason. And I think there's another brewery in London, famous, which is called like German Craft, famous for doing lots of lagers. I went there with Peter and James, Rampant Lion and Casual Smokers, or Clueless Drinker. We went there. I can't remember if it's 23 or 22, summertime sort of thing, and I wanted to go there for many years because I'd seen them all through lockdown. Looked fantastic. I hadn't seen anyone really reviewing the stuff, but it looked fantastic. And I liked the concept, like little breweries, kind of like who I used to work for, Brewhouse, but little breweries, central locations, just brewing lagers and brewing them really well. At least it looked that way. Went there, I can't really remember the lager too much that we had. I think we might have had a dark lager as well, like a half of. But I'll never forget the round that I paid for it. And this was back then. We're kind of used to this sort of price nowadays if you're London based. But for 3 pints, £22.50. And that was, you know, like I say, about July 22 or July 23 or something like that. Was, in fact, I'm 90% sure it was 22. Peter would probably know better because he went to go and see LCD Sound System and lost his phone. It was quite funny. It wasn't funny because I remember he said I just threw my phone. Wasn't funny for him, but yeah, seeing us afterwards. So yeah, German Craft was like one of those breweries that I really wanted to try because I thought they kind of flew under the radar and, you know, similar to these sort of guys. But yeah, I should really head into London at some point and do a proper, you know, visitation of certain pubs and certain breweries. But it's such a pain in the ass, and I'd have to book a hotel and stuff because you can't. My nearest train station is like 6 miles away. So you'd have to sleep in the car, and that's also dodgy to do. And it's fucking freezing at the minute, so can't really do it. Anyhow, that's why I buy beers and have them sent to me. We'll go down to the pub in the town or something. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do another Pillars beer in a second. I know those ones will be way better. Those ones I'm saving until probably around December, when December begins. Or maybe the weekend. Depends if I'm actually working. If I'm working, not happening. If I'm not, happening. Anyway, see you next one. Cheers.